I'm back here once again with another video, and I'm going to be continuing my Yngwie Malmsteen Discography review series, and this one's going to be looking at album number 2, Marching Out, released September 1985 on Polydor Records. Its genre is neoclassical metal and heavy metal. I guess you could say hard rock. Its length is 45 minutes, 22 seconds. Features Yngwie Malmsteen on guitar, Jeff Scott Soto on vocals, Jens Johansson on keyboards, Anders Johansson on drums, and Marcel Jacobs on bass. Now, coming off the surprise, I guess you could say, success of Rising Force, which was a revolutionary album, I feel. Yngwie had a few different routes he could go, but mainly he could continue doing what he was doing on Rising Force, where he's pretty much just instrumental, guitar noodling, that kind of thing. Or he could kind of take a more commercial approach, but still keep a lot of that elements that made Rising Force a really good record. Or he could just go full-blown commercial at that point, or even glam metal, I guess you could say. But Yngwie, I think, chose the second option. He decided to go a bit more commercial, but keep really the roots of what made Rising Force a really successful album. And it was really successful because it did chart in the United States quite high. So there's that. But anyway, let's get into the album. It starts off with a prelude to April. Now, I know Wikipedia just had prelude. The times don't match. I went with the version I had, so this is what it is. It clocks in 2 minutes 45 seconds. Has a soft melodic intro with a classical feel to it. And has a choir in the background that almost gives it that haunting, sinister feel. Now, with this song, you think of Malmsteen by this point. You really think of more hard, heavy metal, frantic guitar work. It's frantic guitar work, but it's on acoustic, which does give it a little bit more of a better feel, just to the song. On to song number 2, I'll See the Light Tonight. Written by Malmsteen and Soto, 4 minutes 27 seconds. Fast-paced intro with a scream. The song feels more riff-based than his other stuff, which felt more melodic and just plotted out. This has a riff, it's more rocky. A vocal seem, though, to get drowned out at times. This is something that happens a little bit on the album, but it's more, I noticed it on this song, where it's like the drums kind of drowned out Scott Soto a little bit, but it worked really well. I like the solo and the drumming underneath, and I just love the drumming throughout this entire track, which is pretty good. I really enjoyed Anders Johansson's drumming throughout the entire album, really. On to song number 3, Don't Let It End, written by Malmsteen and Soto, 4 minutes 9 seconds. I like how the music fades into these soft vocals. It's a lot more vocally driven than anything else, I think, before and really the rest of this album. It's a really good song to show off Jeff Scott Soto's vocals quite a bit. I like the drums and how they carry the song with the vocals. Like this song, it felt like it was mixed right. It really accented Jeff Scott Soto's voice. It feels like Yngwie on this song is a little bit more reined in, where it's a little bit more structured. He has his moments where he can go out and really do his thing, but it feels like it's just more held back. And it feels a lot more radio-friendly, more commercial, like I said in the opening. On to song number 4, Disciples of Hell, clocks in at 5 minutes 53 seconds. I like the acoustic intro. It's not expected. You think of a song like Disciples of Hell, you really think of a hard, fast-paced, metal-sounding song. But to start off acoustically is kind of interesting. But then when it does pick up, it has a nice chugging riff to it, very drum-driven. The solo feels like Yngwie, unlike the other song, is unchained on this song. And the soft vocal part where it's kind of they're talking or chanting really works well for the song. On to song number 5, I Am Viking, clocks in 6 minutes. The intro has a real Dio-esque feel to it, in my opinion. The music, the vocals really do. But it does fit Jeff Scott Soto's voice very well. It's a good foot-tapping song, very catchy. Like the riff and how it kind of feels like they're grooving to the riff before going into a solo, which is a good thing because it can kind of really break up monotony of like, okay, there's a formula, okay, this, and bam, you're into the solo. It's kind of like Yngwie plotted it out, okay, I'm going to riff here and then solo, which I really like. I love the melodic solo that he uses, and also the false finish ending that he uses. He false finishes and then goes into the ending. On to song number 6, Overture 1383, clocks in 2 minutes 58 seconds. Kind of has a video game-like feel to it, like a song you hear in a video game. But I do love the classical feel and how it slows down into a very melodic section. And Yngwie, I didn't mention this on the first one, has such an amazing guitar tone. His tone is just amazing, and also the emotion he's able to exhibit throughout it. Like, even playing fast and that, he still has his moments where he can really throw in a note here and there that just can exhibit that emotion. On to song number 7, Anguish and Fear, clocks into 3 minutes 50 seconds. I do love the staccato drumming during the intro. Has kind of a Metallica feel to it. And what I mean is, if you listen to some of Lars's drumming on some of those Metallica albums, where it's like boom, 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 it's has that Metallica feel to it. I like the guitar instrument versus instrument battle throughout it. But to me, I found, at least listening to this point, this is, by this point, the weakest song on the album, which up to that point was really good. I enjoyed it. It's just that song was one of the ones that really felt like it just kind of got a little bored with it. On to song number 8, On the Run Again, written by Jeff Scott Soto, 3 minutes 25 seconds. It's a remake of a Steelers song, Victim of the City. It's more of a metal riff. I guess you could say it's more of a riffy song. Soto's vocals shine on the song. Song tempo suddenly shifts into the solo. The tempo changes into a weird distorted vocal thingy that I noticed throughout, and it closes out with the opening riff, which is something I always like sometimes bands do, where whatever the opening riff is, then they end on it, and is what it is. On to song number 9, Soldier Without Faith, 6 minutes 10 seconds. Intro has kind of a somber feel to it. Sounds like bombs are going off in the background. Love how the song picks up and goes into a solo. The chorus is catchy. I love the drumming and the solo and the peaks and valleys throughout it. How it's like Yngwie will be going and then go and just really, it's always up and down, up and down. It's like a flow to it, like a roller coaster. And I like how the riff reemerges with the solo. On to song number 10, Caught in the Middle, written by Malmsteen and Soto, clocks in at 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Intro riff has a lot of intensity, especially on the drums. Vocals are solid, and it even has, to quote Metallica, the James Hetfield, yeah, that also heard on the previous album in a song. And it's another frantic Yngwie solo. Nice keyboard part. It kind of is like doom sounding, but very upbeat doom sounding because of the keyboard in it. It's just a good song, or sounding outro to it, is what I meant there. On to song number 11, Marching Out. Clocks in at 3 minutes 10 seconds. Guitar and drum intro, soft melodic section, mellow feel to it. Love the emotion in the song. It's a very short song, but even with Marching Out, you can hear the emotion. You can see a change throughout it. Now that is Rising Force, or not Rising Force, this is Marching Out, sorry, my bad. It really is a step up for me from the last album, especially in not only the production of it, also you could say even the songwriting is a step up. Like, it's not just Yngwie kind of noodling. This shows that there's more to Yngwie, especially with Jeff Scott Soto, than the first album really let on. It does have a lot more of a commercial focus to it, but it doesn't sacrifice the substance. That's one part I had in it. Some songs sound like they do have a more commercial Metallica sound, I guess, if that's the way. Like the Black Album, how you had drums, like listen to Sad But True or some of their other drum beats. It really has that feel to it, but it's quite a bit like almost 6 years earlier. Would like more. Now, this is one of the gripes I kind of have, is I wish there was a little bit more songwriting-wise with Yngwie and Jeff Scott Soto, where it's not typical metal, where it's just focusing on fantasy stuff. Like, Rainbow kind of fit that with Ronnie James Dio, where it's like they're talking about fantasy and all that stuff. I kind of wish the lyrical content would have been just a little bit more, but hey, that's just me nitpicking. Best song on the album, for me, is either I Am Viking or Soldier Without Faith. I think those are two of the best songs off the album. Worst song on the album, Anguish and Fear. It's just the one that I felt was the absolute weakest song. Hidden Gem, Prelude to April or Marching Out, the opener and the closer, really worked well for me. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Great stuff, really, throughout this record. If I had to give it a rating out of 5, I think it is a step up from the last one, which I gave a 3. So I'll go 3.5. It's not quite a 4. I think Malmsteen's done a lot better records than Marching Out, but it is really still, I think, an absolute must. If you're new to Yngwie Malmsteen, I really suggest listening to it. It's a good record. It's solid. It kind of combines a lot of Malmsteen, of that experimentation, classical side, and commercialism together, that worked very well. But anyway, that's my review. Be sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe down below. Tell me, what did you think of the album as a whole? This is me here, though, signing out once again. Rock on.